Shut them
And
up.
of course, and I think we're live now. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the Memes of Destruction here on the Redeye Live with Mad Dodge Productions, 40 Ounce, and Cabbage Patch, Bastard, over here. And we are going to be looking for some questions because I am going to an event tomorrow in Boston that's going to feature Professor Jordan Peterson. And I, of course, shilled out a couple extra bucks to be able to see him after the event and maybe have a moment with the professor. So we were seeing if there were any extremely good questions that anybody had for us. So I'm going to rely on some folks on the panel as well as any of the folks that may or may not show up in the chat out there. So what do we guys think? What are some good questions for Professor Peterson?
Oh, gosh.
Change my VIP card for sexual favors.
This is IRL again. I understand memeing is fun and everything, and actually, along chapter 2 of Professor Peterson's Map for Meanings of books, he literally starts talking about memes and memetics. It actually is very interesting. He definitely was going for Nietzsche level stuff with that book.
Well, wasn't memetics, wasn't that coined by
Dawson or Dawkins?
Dawkins, yes, Dawkins.
I think I have a decent question, maybe kind of, sort of. Even though the alt-right is small and largely they don't have a power base anywhere in government or anything like that, should they be considered allies? Since they are opposed to our enemies, the intersectionalists.
Well, I think Professor Peterson's already answered that. He dislikes anybody that's playing identity politics. He's been saying that for a while.
I did not know he already answered that. Never mind.
In that case, I mean,
the amount of Professor Peterson.
Yeah, I mean, one of the questions that doesn't seem to ever get asked of him, and he is always, obviously pointing out the identity politics, problems. What are the solutions to, how do you counter identity politics? I mean, is there actually a viable philosophical platform, or well, not platform, but format that could actually get these people to reflect on the lunacy that they're promoting?
I believe his answer would be to read his first book, Maps of Meaning, in which basically he pretty much does that, and which basically it's interesting because he literally is just going out and just teaching or one could say memeing his Maps for Meaning book. Because dude, I've been listening to it. I've I don't know, 5-6 hours into an audio recording of it.
You're asking us for questions, and now you're responding on behalf of him.
I give up. I think he's already answered.
I give up.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, and that's why we wait for hopefully people to come in the chat and ask some questions. So we think, Memes, you seem to watch and you're reading his book right now.
I'm only listening to it right now.
Listening to it, but
yes, I know.
But whatever.
Be honest, you're not just listening to it, are you?
What does he really talk about? I watch a little bit of his stuff, but I'm not he's not on my everyday view list. So
his big thing is, I mean, it really is everything he's saying, man. Just like if people tell the truth, and again, that might be a very high bar, but if everyone told the truth, I really think most things would sort themselves out.
No, they wouldn't. They get a lot worse.
No. If everybody did, if some folks do, then
no, it wouldn't. It's the old argument.
Well, you don't need to you don't need to go around sharing everything. I mean, there's a difference between that. So
yeah, but I mean, there's telling the truth in, say, a political sphere, and then in a social sphere. You know, I mean, how many lies do you tell people in a day-to-day just because, you know, there are things you don't want to offend people. So, you know, white lies, little things that just let society keep functioning. You know, if you were honest with everybody at every point, I mean, that's one of the things that a lot of people get offended by me with, right? Because they're fucking about or whatever. But, you know, when you get to the nitty-gritty, if you really wanted people to be truly honest, I don't think that would go down too well in the long run. I mean,
well, you don't need to say everything that's on your head at every moment, because at that point you get to Austin Powers, Molly, Molly, Molly.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Well, you don't need to do that. Again, if you're in a fair dealing situation, I mean, wouldn't it be nice if you weren't getting lied to? Because then we'd be more trusting of one another.
Yes, but the thing is which lies hurt people. You know, like, I mean, that's the reason that most people try to spare somebody's sensibilities, right? Because I can lie. It doesn't really matter. It's a lie. I'm not hurting the person. You know, if I said it, it would hurt the person. I like this person, so I'm not going to do that to them. So I will actually say, no, that dress makes you look beautiful. You know?
Well, you just tell that gal that she's beautiful because all women are beautiful.
No, they're not. Fat, hideous creatures are not beautiful. I'm sorry, they're not.
Wait, I thought they were purple people.
Beauty,
yeah,
beauty
they
is
are.
in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm beholding it, and I'm not saying beauty. Taught
me, it's like we all have different tastes.
Yeah, but if I see a fat chick, right? I mean, a really obnoxious fat purple person, I'm not finding that attractive. I don't care how much fat. I don't care how much bleach you put into my eyes. I don't care how you try to socially re-engineer me. That is never ever going to be attractive.
I mean, is it being forced
you would
upon
have
you?
to. You would have to electrocute my brain to the point of death.
I don't know. That sounds kind of wrong.
No,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying it. I mean, she might be a nice person. But that's different than being beautiful. She might be nice. You might want to chat with her. You might want to go out for a coffee with her, and you know, you don't mind meeting the woman on a weekend. You know, to have
talk about Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. But would you want to fuck it? No.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know. Maybe your standards. I don't know. Maybe you have much more flexible standards than I do. But no, I'm sorry, but you can't. You can't mandate.
I under what you're saying from a classical / studies that we have and everything. I get you, but different folks are into different things. You've been on the internet long enough.
Oh, there are.
No, I get what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying. But
that's what I'm saying, right? Someone might find that person, you know, sexy, but I wouldn't, and I don't feel any reason why I should feel obliged to find this fucking land whale attractive.
You don't.
Well, here's another question about Professor Peterson. Isn't he a creationist? Is that or am I wrong?
No.
I was about to say.
Yeah, the other way around then.
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was good. Yeah, I was hoping you guys would say no.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination is he a creationist.
It's very interesting because the way in his book and stuff, and even in general, he doesn't do it as much in general, but in his writings, he does refer to God an awful lot. But his big thing isn't the focus on like a grand uniting narrative, a very low resolution one that if most folks can kind of say, well, this is probably pretty good. This makes the world a good place. Because when he started getting obsessed in writing his books and everything, this was during like the Cold War and shit. So a lot of folks at that time, they're like, we don't know what's going to happen. Something terrible could happen, and just folks didn't know.
But isn't he doing that as a sort of theological social framework? You know, it's like, well, you know, certain things can be utilized, which work well with the, you know, psychological effects of people. That this is a, you know, positive feedback mechanism or something like that. He's not looking at it specifically. I mean, especially not as creationism or whatever. But he's looking at the potential benefits that can be achieved through, you know, a perceptional construct or whatever you want to call it. I hate construct.
Well,
That's
the reason I asked that, a little more religious than most professors, should we say. He's not necessarily an atheist, far from it. So that is kind of a fair question. I'm not saying ask it, but I mean, that is kind of a fair question.
Oh, sorry. Was that one of the questions you wanted to ask? Jordan? Huh. Well, yeah, yeah, give it a shot. I don't. Well, then again, which book did he answer that question?
Well, I mean, at that point, aren't we getting down to just asking him, do you believe in God? Which is a question he's been asked several times, which each time he's basically like, I don't like that. Because then it always comes back to, he asks, well, what do you mean by believe and what do you mean by God? which are fair questions if you want to be very specific about it.
Yeah. Yeah,
but that's kind of Clinton-esque. That's almost like saying, redefining what sex means or something.
I don't think he was getting a BJ among other things in the Oval, though.
Well, you never know. He gets about.
Well, no, he does do a lot of try. And actually, you want to know how professional it is? Dude, I got a call earlier to confirm that I was coming. They're like, oh, we sent you a couple of emails. I'm like, well, I didn't check my email for the past couple of days, so that's on me. She called. She was polite. I'm confirmed.
Confirmed for what?
The event.
Yeah, for you know what, Cabbage.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm worrying. You see, I'm worrying now.
Oh,
there's another Pornhub video.
Well, I mean, I did take the next day off, but I also have other things to do.
Well, no, we actually got a question from the chat. Just My Stupid Opinion asks. Just My Stupid Opinion says, when in the face of heavy opposition, dealing with lots of criticism, when they refuse to listen to logic and reason, how do you change the mind of people to leave the identity politics game? I think that's a good one. Thank you very much.
That's the point. That was the question I was trying to structure earlier. That's exactly the point I was making. But apparently it's been answered in Book 1, subsection 3. What was it, Chapter 4?
Well, Beams, let me ask you, that is a good question. Sorry, I don't mean to overshadow it, but this just kind of came to mind. Has he ever talked about power politics in depth at all?
Power politics, I mean, well, yeah, he basically calls folks out, I believe, in what they're doing and everything. And basically, his mastermind book is meant to deconstructualize everything and basically say, well, why do we do this? And he supports it with data from other psychologists and everything. I mean, he's already touched on, I think, Piaget, Nietzsche, Jung. Well, maybe not so much Nietzsche yet, but he's gone through it. I realize not all of them are.
A lot about that.
Well, and again, it's a lot of stuff he has talked about. It's just when he says it's in a very condensed form, it is. Like he says, go over every one of the prefaces, which is 10 pages each and of itself of each chapter before you even begin to read the book, which I did. But it's very interesting there. It's he breaks it down. Like when he was on the debate the other day, he was kind of talking to the other dude saying he's calling him out for doing this. But that's actually kind of where I actually have a slight disagreement with Professor Peterson. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go there, is to say it's and again, I know he's getting told this from folks around him, be a little nicer and everything. But when he shot back at that dude, I could sense venom on his lips. And I understand the dude's been...
What do you mean? Which dude?
What was it?
Dyson?
The pastor guy. Was it Mr. Dyson?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mr. Dyson over there. Because when Mr. Dyson, he did bring up identity politics, and he did refer to him as a white dude. But when he brought that up, I did not hear hatred in his voice. I did not sense venom on him. But Professor Peterson, he did take it as an attack, and it's just, it didn't seem good. It didn't seem good. And I've noticed him do that because he actually has said, all the folks that are saying Marxist, I'm like, no, Professor, it's not all those people and everything. So it's, again, I always said, it's well, I think we should be better wizards. And again, what the hell's a wizard? A wizard is a person who tries to change the world around them by using their verbal and somatic components, basically their words and actions.
I was going to say an intelligence-based class, but...
Yeah, well, hey, we each have our roles in order to
No,
that's what
I
we
think
do.
the thing is here, though, memes, when you keep getting attacked over and over again, you start to
It gets
expect it.
frustrating.
You know what I mean? It's just a given
Yeah.
at that fucking point, right?
Yeah, I can understand why he would respond in that manner, because it's not like it's the first time. And every time, and the thing is, it's always the lowest hanging fruit. And it's like, really, I've got to do this again? And then, I don't see that was a particular problem. I mean, I think people want to make it a problem. But it was only a problem because it was brought up, and it was a ridiculous question to begin with.
Yeah, it's just, and I understand, and like he's not wrong when he calls him out and everything, saying, "Well, you brought this up and everything," but it's just he understands like how folks react and everything, but it's just I don't know. It's just like we all come from different places, man. So it's like I cannot tell what's in another person's head nor heart. So it's like I got to try to take them on the word for that, and unless they prove otherwise. And I'm not sure because I did hear on another stream the other day where I forget who they were talking about the exact contents, but it sounded like, well, yeah, folks are going to fuck shit up and everything. But I don't think he said it, but it almost sounded like they were saying like, well, folks aren't necessarily good. And like that's where I tend to have some differing opinion in.
Well, no, I mean, if you look at nature is inherently not good. I mean,
Violent, inherently violent.
Well, we are the only creatures that don't get eaten by something else. You know, we are the luckiest one. I mean, it's the thing that I think people forget quite often, right? Because nature is pretty fucking hideous if you really want to break it down.
Oh yeah, very Nietzsche was spot on with that.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, this idea, I mean, it's only because we have these, social constructs or whatever you want to fucking call them, that, we have any ability to ensure that we don't end up as, the next feast for some other, critter.
No, it's a big blessing and stuff. And actually, that's pretty much the end of chapter 2 in Maps of Meaning. He goes into like the testing of like the lab mice and stuff where they'll do the experiments where it's literally like, all right, they'll turn on a light and then electrify the cage. So all of a sudden they'll do that several times. They measure the brain response and they're starting to correlate that with humans now to the point where how many events, I think it's like 15 events where literally the light goes on, the rat just freezes just because it's waiting for the shock, even if it doesn't come. And it's like, how do we respond to different situations, whether it's stressful, whether it's just trying to get a meeting on time, that it's almost like, if you remember the activity when you were younger, you may have had, your teacher may have had you write out every step it takes to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And if you think about it, it sounds easy, but there's actually like 38 steps depending on how you make it. And he literally breaks down each and everything. The elevator's not coming. Everything gets rounded up and everything. And it's just, you're stressed, and then all of a sudden you see an ease, people start moving faster, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you feel better about it. So it really, dude, it breaks it down very well. He does a good job.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, I'm not sure what that's got to do with the idea of, wasps that inject their progeny into beetles. And, the beetles get eaten from the inside out. I mean, that's the natural order, right? We don't have any of that.
Well,
we don't get eaten.
It's a good thing we're not that or praying manti.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we are the apex predator, right? I mean, that's fundamentally what we are.
Yeah, but we also hunt ourselves at times.
Yes, we do. But that's because there's no one else, like we've already beaten everything else. You're not allowed to shoot lions and, other big shit anymore.
No, some folks do.
Endangered.
They get shit for it.
No, you can get tags for bear and shit. And mountain lions.
Yeah, bears and things. But, you can't. I mean, elephants are totally, rhinos, not a chance.
Well,
yeah, but you know what I mean. The thing is that there is nothing really. I live in Britain, and Laddard, you know this. The most threatening thing they can find in this country is a fucking pigeon. Or no,
like
No,
maybe
or a
hawks.
terrorist.
Like,
yeah, seriously. No, seagulls. Sorry, it was seagulls that are the most dangerous thing in this country.
oh fuck.
We've tamed it to the point of no return.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So taming
seriously.
seagulls, I haven't read any studies about
No,
that.
no. We didn't tame the seagulls. We're still working on that. But we've annihilated everything else that was a potential threat.
Well, I learned from Romania that you can train pigeons.
Oh, you can. Pigeons were used actually in the Second World War. They had them as a guidance system.
What?
Yeah, they used them as a guidance system. I know it sounds weird, doesn't it? But they had.
I'm just imagining like a Tweety bird cage, a pigeon in the center, like one of those like big like bombers, like with the machine guns on them and shit.
It was a missile, and the
What?
guy, yeah, it was a missile, and you drop the missile.
Loaded
and,
pigeons on missiles?
yes, the pigeon would tap.
Oh, that's even worse.
Because it would recognize the picture of the, like like a ship, right? It would know what a ship looks like, and it would tap, the picture. And seriously, look up pigeon guided missiles. I guarantee you, I am not shitting you. They really, really existed.
Did you hear about the bats? They were trying to strap fucking scary fucking bombs to go light shit on fire.
Yeah. They gave them waistcoats. And the Russians, they had the dogs with bombs attached to them, and they go and hide under the tanks and then blow up the tanks. But they trained them on their own tanks, so they end up blowing up their own tanks.
Oh my god, Project Pigeon was actually a thing. During World War II, Project Pigeon, later Project Orcon, or Organic Control, was American behavior of B.F. Skinner's attempt to develop pigeon control guided bomb.
See? Told you. I wasn't lying.
They made an attempt.
No. I mean, it was working. I mean, in terms of like the, in the laboratory, they tested
for
it.
The Navy's radar-guided bat glide bomb.
Okay, you want to see an even weirder one? Look up hens and nuclear bombs.
No. I'm just done here. No, we've combined too much of the creatures that crawleth upon God's earth with weapons.
Well, how about dolphins?
God damn you, Dr. Robotnik. God damn you.
How about the dolphins then? I got one for those.
Exactly.
Well, don't mess with
dolphins.
Yeah, they
it was fantastic when they escaped. They escaped after the Florida. No, was it the New Orleans thing or whatever?
Yeah, the Navy was training dolphins with like these tiny machine guns strapped to their flippers or whatever, and these dolphins got loose, and so apparently there's just a bunch of dolphins out in the ocean with fucking machine guns.
Yeah,
dude, that sounds so fucking cool.
Dude, that'd make a terrifying fucking movie, though, right?
Dude, we have dolphins with lasers.
Freaking lasers on their heads.
Wait a minute, though. No, wait. Fuck. I'm pissed. You want gun control for the regular people, but there's dolphins with fucking gun turrets on their flippers?
There's dolphins with more
automatic weapons, mate.
Half of America. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. 50 caliber dolphins.
So what you're saying is I should ask Professor Peterson about the future of dolphins with lasers.
Dolphin warfare.
No, I want to know how the sharks are going to respond to this new threat.
No, the penguins. How are the penguins going to respond?
Oh god.
Oh, the fucking just ask him at the very end when you're getting ready to leave. Professor Peterson, do you know about the Nazi penguins? And then take a picture. I just want to see his fucking face. But that has to be the very end because he's gonna think you're a nut job after that. So
I think I'll realize I'm a nut job within like the first 3 seconds of meeting me because he is a clinical psychologist.
Oh, he's like, yeah, this guy's fucking crazy. He's an internet guy.
Oh gosh.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm going there directly after work.
Oh gosh, what the fuck? That was very gay.
What?
Oh gosh.
Oh god.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
We're not interested. Don't stop.
Wait, what?
Don't your
I don't
cloaks
know.
again.
Who?
Oh god.
So do we have any other like actual questions?
Well, I do have a question, but it's kind of complex.
Oh, okay. He's a fairly complex guy.
Okay, I might have to like write it down or something.
That would be good.
Okay. Yeah,
Get out your Sharpie.
like, are you like legitimately offering to have him like to ask questions for us? Or...
What? No, we're just fucking around with the stream. I'm curious. I'm only one fucking person. Like I said, I already have my 5 tenets of humanity and 7-ish universal truths that I will hand on a handwritten piece of paper to him at the end.
Well, then, I'll refine the question in writing and give it to you in just a moment. But the question I would ask is it ethical to use Machiavelli-style power politics to... Is it ethical to use Machiavelli-style power politics to fight against those who are in turn using power politics to suppress others? Because I mean, that's generally like a rather touchy subject.
Can you refine that? No, I actually like where you're going. At first, I thought you just meant Machiavellian tactics in general, like nation via nation, a la The Prince. But the way you're asking it, it almost sounds like, should we use the tactics of our enemies against us, quote unquote, or quote unquote enemies?
Yeah, that's
ideological opponents.
Memes, yeah. From me, you went way over the top there. From what I heard from 40 Ounce, it was Batman. To defeat evil, I must become evil. That's really the question that he seemed to be posing. But that's my interpretation.
No, I think you put it excellently. I understand not everyone is out reading these fucking antiquated works, but I mean, that is the like layman's question, I suppose. Is it ethical to use the same tactics against our enemies, I suppose?
I see. For me, like I don't know, and that's no.
Yeah, but he's asking you to ask.
I'm thinking that is a pretty good question. That's almost what I kind of fear he's starting to do a little bit as well, just because he does have an itchy tweeting figure as well.
Then I vote this is at least one of the questions you ask him. Hopefully you get one of your own also, or 2 or 3. You paid extra. Shit. I don't know how long you get with him.
Yeah, that's all on your dime.
Don't either.
So, I'm not going to be exactly butthurt if you don't answer.
I'm keeping it within a minimum of 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah, I can keep it to that. I'll write it out in just a second.
But yeah, let's see. We got 3 people watching. Anybody in the chat? Just my stupid opinion. Do you have another question you would ask? I mean, that's what this is for, is to ask or give some ideas to memes, because he's going tomorrow. So
small window of opportunity, people.
Yeah, what's the speech going?
It's part of his like book tour. It's like his 12 rules for life, his newest book.
Yeah, and your 7 questionable metaphors.
We'll see. Nonsense. For me, is many people don't like rules. Yeah. Maybe that's a universal truth.
Maybe that's why people want rules for radicals.
Well, I think that's the fucking problem. Because a lot of the tactics that were promoted there, it's now being used by whatever side it is. And I feel that's perpetuating an ideological war that I don't necessarily think is necessary.
Well, there's a good question then. That in itself.
Well, I stand by the words of a former CIA agent. Fuck you, Saul. I'm sorry, Saul. I don't know, man. That might be all she wrote. I think it's just us and my stupid opinion here. Folks can always send stuff later. Shit, want to send anything to you guys? Poking on Discord, I just pop in when I'm heading there.
Yeah, exactly. Discord or Twitter. What time tomorrow? Are you going to be doing this? East Coast time, whatever your time.
Checking East Coast time is like 6:30 to 7:30. So I think the event actually begins at like 8 o'clock. So
yeah, set up a live leak account, then you can live stream it as it's happening.
Other people will be doing that though. That's kind of like recording a concert, man. You see everybody with their phone up recording the concert.
Yeah, and exactly, and but it's totally shit. No, I'm saying just put it in your top pocket and just or whatever, just have it somewhere. Put it on a lanyard.
I don't want my phone to die. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, I could get pictures. I could record stuff, but for me, it's like I just rather have a quick conversation.
Absolutely. Is that AM or PM you're talking about?
Oh, PM.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if it was like the morning fucking event. They have those. I don't know what crazy
it goes like 5-ish your time.
Yeah, I've seen those. They are happening a lot more, aren't they, man? You tend to see these like breakfast things. Everyone's shoving scrambled eggs down their throats.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a bit like the CFR meeting.
Well,
have you ever seen the CFR things? They're always people sitting down eating something.
If you want to actually avoid any potential protests for whatever you're doing, if you hold it like 7 o'clock in the morning, like chances of there being protesters are probably much lower. There'll still be sometimes some, but it's usually hardcore folks that will show up at that time.
Oh, that's true. Who was it who said that? If you want to avoid just because they'll never get out of bed.
Many people.
Yeah, somebody said that recently.
Well, absolutely, and I hope it's a fun event, memes. And let's go over to Discord and hang out. Thank you, everybody, for watching this later, I guess. We had a small viewership, but hey, it's a Monday. We'll be back Wednesday stream, and then Friday, our new the Looney Bin. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and we're out of here.
Bye.